Okay, today we have Samyang Jajang Ramen Sweet Soybean Sauce. So this is clearly the Samyang competitor to Nongshim's Chapaghetti, which is really, really famous in terms of Jajang noodle, and we've also reviewed it on this channel. I think this is what they used to call chacharoni. I can't read Korean, but I think this is chacharoni just rebranded, and I would guess, considering that these two symbols are the same, it's something, 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 chacharoni. I think it is the same thing, just with new packaging. But please let me know if I've got that wrong in the comments. I have never had this before, and I'm very, very excited. I really want to see how this stacks up against the Nongshim Chapaghetti. Everyone knows on this channel that I love Samyang noodles, especially when it says bouncy up at the top. That's a really good sign based on my taste. So yeah, I'm really excited. This costs 99p, which is oddly cheaper than basically all of the other, all the buldak noodles and the other sort of Nongshim Shin Ramyun. So it's certainly on the cheaper end, and I'm hoping that doesn't translate into the quality. I'm really hoping that this is strong and gives Chapaghetti a run for its money. Okay, so let's talk about the packaging. Oh my goodness, this is exactly the sort of packaging I love. I think if Chapaghetti is probably my favorite packaging of all time. This would be quite high up there. I think again, the typography is beautiful, really, really retro, really interesting color palette that they've gone with. I just think it's extremely appealing to me. This is the sort of thing that attracts me, when I'm shopping for noodles. It says stir-fried ramen on the front. There's a serving suggestion there in the picture. Let's go on the back and have a little look. Okay, so in terms of energy, this is another one where it's per 100 grams, which is completely useless to me. So it says 386 calories per 100 grams. Net weight 140 grams. So yeah, someone's gonna have to do the calculations on that. In terms of the ingredients, this should give us a sense of the sort of flavors we've got going on. So I'll ignore the noodles, but looking at the liquid soup, water, soybean paste, sugar, onion, soybean oil, yeast extract, vegetable oil, artificial grilled flavoring, color, thickener, non-dairy creamer, flavor enhancer, corn syrup, salt, acidity regulator. And then there's flakes as well with textured soy protein, fried potato, cabbage, and onion. Excellent. Okay. Yeah, so I'm expecting this to be a sort of an oniony soy sauce type flavor. Expecting it to be sweet. Yeah, but the artificial grilled flavoring, who knows? And in terms of the cooking instructions, this says, put noodles and flakes into boiling water 500 mils and simmer for 5 minutes and 30 seconds, which is quite long. Please remove water from noodles and add sauce into the noodles, stir well and serve. Okay, so it says stir-fried ramen, but interestingly, the cooking directions just say to add sauce into the noodles, stir well and serve. So it doesn't sound like there's any stir-frying going on. But yeah, we'll soon find out once we go inside. Let's open it up. Wow. Look at those noodles. I don't think I've seen a noodle as thick as that come from a packet in my whole life. That is super thick. Don't know what to make of that, honestly. I'm a bit speechless at how thick that is. We'll have to see how much it expands when it hits the water, but that's impressive, and it's made me very excited as well. Okay, let's open this up. Oh yes. Whoa, look at that. Way runnier than I was expecting, just because I'm a bit used to the sort of buldak. So it's definitely on the looser side, but it looks beautiful. Smells great. Yeah, really rich fermented soy, deep kind of, yeah, soy flavor, a bit cabbagey, a bit oniony. Yeah, it's nice. Let's look at these flakes. Wow. Look at those. That must be the potato, those squares. Amazing. Yeah, that looks great. And I really like, again, the packaging and the branding on this stuff. I just think it's really, really beautiful. Let's cook this up and see what it tastes like. Okay, noodles are cooked. I'm going to pour in this jajang sauce and then mix it into the noodles. Okay, right, let's have a look at this. So, I mean, the first thing is just how thick are those noodles? I actually can't get over it. That's like spaghetti. That's what I dream about in a jajang. Amazing. So, the sort of things I'm thinking about how this is going to compare to Chapaghetti. So I'm looking at it, and one of the things about Chapaghetti is that it has that little sachet of oil, so you get a real shine over the top. But this looks exactly the same, just with even thicker noodles. So I'm very, very impressed so far. I'm going to give it a smell. Slightly different smell than I was expecting. It smells a bit peppery. Yeah, a little bit peppery, a little bit of some sort of aromatic spice, but I'm not really smelling anything else. It's not particularly cabbagey or anything like that. Yeah, I think it's going to come down to those noodles and what this is going to taste like. I'm going to give it a go. I don't want to eat the whole bowl in one go, even though it's tempting. Well, that was unusual. The first thing I tasted was sweet, and the last thing I'm tasting, the thing that's lingering in my palate, is sweetness. It's a bit oniony, like a sort of a oniony, cabbagey flavour. Slightly salty. I mean, there's a bit of a soy flavour coming through. There would need to be, but it's not a sort of a punch you in the face soy. I'm going to try this potato flake. Wow. Real potato. Beautiful. Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to like your noodles to be sweet to warrant buying this, I think. I mean, it's not completely overpoweringly sweet. I mean, it's nice. It's definitely savory. You know, it's not like sickly sweet, but it's definitely surprisingly sweet. I mean, it is what they're promising on the front here. Sweet soybean sauce. Okay, so I'm gonna have to think about a verdict here on this. So let's have a think about value for money. 99p, that was amazing value for money. Really, really amazing quality of noodles, sauce, and flakes. The problem I've got is how often I would really want to get this. I genuinely don't really like my noodles that sweet, if I'm honest. So I think I've mentioned a few times I would lie in bed awake thinking of Nongshim Chapaghetti. I can't see myself doing it with this. I think very infrequently I might fancy it just for a change. You know, sometimes I might get a craving for something sweet. It must have a place, you know, in the rotation. Now I think where I'm going to have a bit of trouble is on how special this is. So ordinarily, if I'm going to get a noodle every couple of months, you know, and it's good quality and good value for money, that would put it in the 3s, you know, like Nongshim Soon, which got a 3 out of 5. But there is something that's making me think that this is special enough to warrant something higher. The Pad Thai, Mama Pad Thai, I gave 3.5 because it's a really unique noodle. The Nissin Tonkotsu, I gave 3.5 because the broth was just unreal, really unique. I cannot think of any other noodles that would taste anything like this. Can't think of any noodle that thick. I cannot think of anything that tastes like that. Sweet soybean sauce. So based on that, I'm really grateful that this exists, you know, and we have the option to get this. And I think I will be getting it again. I'm not sure when I'll be wanting it, but I'll definitely want a change from the really boring, same old spicy noodles that, you know, take up the whole ramen aisle. So yeah, for me, this was really good and it was special. So for me, it's a 3.5 out of 5.